The fall of America. I watched it unfold nearly 15 years ago, the event that started it all. After the siege of the Capitol, the division became more severe. It was really just a lot of complaining and arguing, so we thought it would all fade away. But it never did. Things got really bad in June of 2023, starting in California. People were starving and dying. The 3-year plague had wreaked havoc on the population. In such a trial, the state's governor commissioned the National Guard to seize all farms for emergency use. Food would be equally distributed to the population. With this bold move came a major change to the state's government. California would be the first state to adopt democratic socialism. Millions took to the streets to protest. Peaceful petitioning soon turned violent. They marched upon the Capitol in Sacramento and then burned it to the ground. Things escalated from there. The governor ordered the National Guard to fire upon the mob. Thousands would die that day. 3 days later, the state ordered the seizure of all firearms. To resist would be certain death. Millions would flee that year as refugees, myself included. Fearing similar rebellion, New York, Illinois, and Washington State immediately ordered the seizure of all firearms. Fearing death by firing squad, hundreds of thousands would flee to other states. In December of 2024, the president was given emergency powers to reform the government. The judicial branch was purged from existence, and the executive and legislative branches became one. The Reformed Republic of the United States, or RUSA, would next order the national seizure of all firearms. They would promise a redistribution of wealth and sustenance to all who were impoverished along with that order. That was the day Texas seceded from the Union. They would close all borders. Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana would join to become the Union of Texas. Over the next 2 years, Utah and New Mexico would also assimilate into the Union. And this is when things got really bad. Fearing the loss of Colorado, a key state between Utah and Texas mainland, RUSA would send 10,000 troops to Denver. They were met with force by the Texas Army. A bloody battle ensued and thousands lost their lives. Both sides refused to relent and thousands more were sent to their graves. With the eyes of the world watching the new Civil War, other states fell into chaos. There were mobs and murders and skirmishes. Brothers fought against brothers and parents against children. We walked from Palm Springs to Las Vegas that year. When we got there, the city was in chaos. I watched Vegas burn to the ground. We again became refugees as lawlessness spread. We walked hundreds of miles to Phoenix just to be turned away at gunpoint. We thought to head east to El Paso, but learned that any who came from California would be shot on sight. So we made our way to Salt Lake City. War had not yet reached this part of the Union, and we enjoyed peace for a year. But that was soon taken away when China reached the shores of California. 250,000 troops marched upon the Golden Coast. California was lost, and then Oregon and Washington shortly thereafter. The force was so overwhelming that RUSA made a treaty with China and surrendered those states to the invaders. The next wave of events happened in Europe. Russia made its way down into Poland, Germany, and France. Those countries yielded without a fight. The United Kingdom and India joined forces to stop this new Red Army, but eventually they were conquered too. Russia was just too powerful. 6 months later, the Red Army reached the eastern seaboard of North America. New York, Massachusetts, and Maine were taken in a single day. The RUSA quickly withdrew their troops from Colorado to fortify the east. And here we are today in 2036. The land is one continual round of carnage and bloodshed. Some people talk of peace and progress, that perhaps we might form a new world order, that out of the ashes something amazing will grow. But I don't think so. We destroyed the best thing the world had ever seen, and peace cannot be obtained through war. Unity cannot come through division, and war and division are all we have.